mercy, look at how the time goes.
And welcome everybody to this.
It seems I'm so much
How's that for being ready? Caught you with your pants down. Welcome everybody to this episode of the Coming Home Podcast with John Allen. I'm your host, John Allen, and joining me today is the rather stubby but well-proportioned Snoopy.
Hello, everybody. And thank you for the introduction.
She's a tiny little thing, but she's got all the right lumps.
Oh, and plenty of them.
Oh, come on. People think you're athletic. Let them keep believing. Let them keep believing that.
Well, I am very athletic.
See, there
Absolutely.
you go.
Yes.
Okay, I'm tired, so pick me up here. I'm tired.
Oh.
We were just. This has been a lazy day, and that's okay. We can have a day like that.
What, you talk about yourself now? Because I haven't been lazy.
Oh, come on.
I've been to the gym.
Yeah, that's right.
Out and about.
That's right. You were
all day.
What was I doing then? Maybe I slept through that.
I guess you did. So yeah.
No, this is a day off for me from the gym. Well, although we did plan on going together and doing extra things. You know, I was going to see, for example, if I was able to do some sprints, but obviously it wasn't meant to be because it didn't happen.
Stayed up too late, 3 o'clock in the morning.
No.
Well, I slept. I fell asleep around 4:30. So
okay, yeah. I think it was It was definitely after 1 a.m.
Yeah.
When I went to sleep.
Yeah.
But we were kind of wound up.
I don't know why.
Oh, come on now, this parenting thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my goodness.
Without naming any names, I don't know. People are allowed to parent their kids the way they want to. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I guess I have a problem with it when it affects my kids. How do I say this?
Well,
we should talk about this, but we have to be careful because we don't want to say any names.
And we don't want to hurt anybody.
We don't want to hang out anybody out there.
Absolutely not. Everybody has their own...
Everybody's got their own style.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
And I'm thinking if I, in order to kind of, I don't know, make it softer or whatever, it's maybe I'm talking out of experience. A little bit.
When you say what?
When I say that, oh my gosh, they let their kids do that? Maybe people don't believe it, but I was a teenager one time. And I know what went on in the 80s, and I don't think it is that much better in the 2020.
But just so people know, there is a huge difference between Norway in the 80s and the United States in the 80s.
That is true.
There's a big difference, I think, socially for kids between the two countries now, today. There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I think if our kids if we were to pick up and move back to the States and put our kids in a high school, especially in the city somewhere, I think they'd get eaten alive.
Probably.
Yeah.
But out in the country where you grew up, what do you think there?
Even that makes me uncomfortable to think of. I just don't think our kids have... I mean, it's all about experience. They haven't experienced the things that would properly equip them.
I think
socially, the way things are now. I mean, am I overprotective?
I think you are. You are more protective than I am.
Well, I'm a better parent.
Well,
I'm so glad this table is wide enough and her arms are stubby enough that she can't slap me.
Yeah, I went to high school in the States when I was, 16, 17?
Oh.
Back then, what I knew about the United States was what I saw in the movies. I thought United States were like the Dynasty or the Hollywood movies. That's all I knew. And that it was a melting pot, because that's what we learn at school.
So you got your impression of what America was like from TV.
Exactly.
Did you ever see the Roots series?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm just asking.
But that was,
I'm just asking. That's what
Oh my goodness. No, but that was in the, what was that, 70s? The Roots came
What was
out.
that? Was that 76 maybe? I don't remember. So,
Yeah.
70 something.
But I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I snuck to see it. I snuck to see like the first part. And I will never forget the first part.
Where did you go to see it? What do you mean?
Well, my parents were watching, and I was sneaking behind the doors there. And
Oh, yeah. So you only saw like bits and pieces.
Right, but I didn't.
All the whippings and whatnot.
No, just the first episode. The only thing I remember from Roots from back then. Now, I've seen it, together with you. But back then, all I remember is when they caught
I think you're trying to reenact some of that. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I did. I did.
No, I'm talking about it today on me.
Oh
my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I give up. I'm not going to try any more stand-up material on you. I'm just not going to do it. You don't get it.
No? But you interrupt me when I'm in a serious discussion here. I'm going to tell you something serious.
Okay, go ahead. Stop wrinkling your forehead. Go ahead.
You remember when they caught Kunta Kinte?
Who?
Kunta Kinte. Isn't that his name?
Okay, let's say that's his name. Okay.
Anyway.
I remember when they caught the gentleman whose name you're trying to pronounce. Yes.
Okay.
Lift that mic up to your mouth, please.
So see, now my tears are running here. You make me laugh so hard.
That's why you love me. Every day I got to make you laugh at least once.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, they caught him, and they put the shackles on him, and he would kind of raised himself up, threw his arms back, and was screaming.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. And then, I was a little bit of a drama queen for a little while there, I guess. Mm-hmm. So when my dad was, I don't remember, was something. And I strongly disagreed with him. So what did I do? The Kunta Kinte thing. Threw my arms up. And was screaming and falling backwards and forward,
Totally reenacting that scene. But how did we... Oh, yeah. Back to the 80s. Okay? My impression of the United States were from the Hollywood movies. So, but I survived. When I came to the United States, I took the plane, Finnair, and landed in New York. And then I had to switch planes there because I went all the way upstate New York State to a small place with those tiny little planes. And my English was so bad that they put a sign around my neck where I was going. And on my ticket it says, speaks very little English. And are you serious?
Oh,
really?
I'm so serious. I'm dead serious.
Wow.
So I walked with that sign and then just showing my ticket, and people would show me where to go to get to the airport, or to the plane rather, to the right gate and everything. So anyway, but I survived. I survived 3 different high schools. So and the first one was like way out in the country
in New York, upstate New
York, Ogdensburg. And then I moved from there to Newark, New York, which was a little bit bigger.
But still in upstate New York, right? Isn't it?
More towards the lakes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I moved from there to Minnesota. Yeah.
But you tell me some of the things you went through, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you were so naive. I'm surprised you didn't end up getting hurt or taken advantage of. So I don't think you were properly equipped, so to speak, socially. I think you experienced, well, I don't know how much you experienced. Your experience is your experience. But based on the things that you've told me up through the years about your time as an exchange student, it seems like you weren't really, it was a big difference socially.
Just the fact that I didn't shave my legs was a big difference. But no, gosh. Seriously, it wasn't.
I've tamed her, you guys. I've tamed her.
No, the thing is that I think that you are quite a bit overprotective, because usually things goes okay. we are preparing for a worst case scenario, but I've been walking around Los Angeles late at night around the train station, stepping over homeless people and asking them for directions to the bus, and it went okay.
Yeah, it went okay, but you can never predict when things are going to go wrong. But I stand to my point that I don't think you were ready for some of the differences in society. And I definitely stand by, look at our two kids. They're
smart.
Sure, they're smart, but they're inexperienced in certain things that they would be faced with children of their own age over there, back in the States.
I'm not so sure.
No, I want you to be sure. Now think, would you take our youngest and put him in a high school in the city of Chicago and be comfortable?
Not in the city of Chicago.
Okay.
But out in the country, maybe in Ohio, like Norton or wherever. I think so. I think that will work just fine.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, I think Miss Thing, our oldest one, is going to get it in her head to want to study in the States, and I'm all for it. But I just don't want it to be a big smack in the forehead. The differences, and I do believe there are some significant differences in awareness in that street smart thing. And I'm not saying you need to have street smarts if you're living out in the country. I guess I'm lacking a better word for it. What is it? That certain amount of worldliness, that experience of being in a confrontational situation.
But when you think about,
and I think they're going to see that a lot more over there if they were to go to school than they do here.
Well, yeah, because now they are there's teachers are very good here at no teasing, and they're very thinking a lot about that. It's very much in focus, you know.
But shouldn't teasing be okay? Isn't teasing a part of growing up? Bullying should be.
Yeah, I mean bullying.
Adults should intervene. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Adults should intervene when there's bullying, absolutely. But my point is that they go overboard here and they intervene as soon as the teasing starts.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a certain amount of that worldliness, that awareness that people can hurt you, and you have to be prepared for that. You have to have a response, ready. Kids don't have to do that here, but I believe that they still have to do that back home in the States. So our two little kids aren't. I just don't think they're prepared for that, and I think it would be a big shock. It sounds like it's such a small thing, but I don't think it takes much. It doesn't take much confrontation. It doesn't take much teasing or bullying to mess up a kid for quite a while. And being the better parent that I am, I don't want our kids messed up. Next topic.
No, seriously though, I think they will be all right.
Well, we'll see because we may never have to deal with that. Maybe they won't want to go study.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think they will.
We should get old girl. Wouldn't it be great to get old girl in at Kent State into their acting and theater program over there?
Sure. Yeah. But I wouldn't let my children be all by themselves at night with a bunch of other kids their own age in an area where you are far away.
What was it? An hour? It's an hour drive.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I don't think that's. I think that's naive. That is a bunch of naive adults who allow their barely teenage children to do something like that, to stay alone with no adult supervision in a cabin area. It's like a neighborhood of cabins that is a known party. This has been a party place since you were a kid. And you're 60,
that's what I mean by experience.
What, 62? Yeah, so
60. Oh my gosh, what did you say?
No, but all those years ago when you were a kid, it was a party place then, and it still is now. And there's a totally different array of threats that these kids can be met with. So that might have worked back in the day.
Well,
in
you
a
know
way,
what?
but
Yeah,
it definitely doesn't work today.
yeah.
These preteen boys, or these even boys that are 2, 3, 5 years older, who are out there by themselves, they're like a pack of wolves. They're going to pick up the scent. Now this sounds nasty. They're going to figure out that 4 or 5 girls are alone in a cabin with no adult supervision, and things can happen.
But it's not only that, and this is what I mean by maybe we are a little bit overprotective, but I don't think so with certain things.
I'd rather be overprotective than underprotective, and let those kids. Of course, kids have to create their own.
They have to
their own arsenal,
Yeah.
through the experiences that they have, and you can't protect them from everything. But I do believe that some parents around here are too much hands off. And their children are going to experience things that they absolutely do not need to experience because of that lack of parental supervision.
Well,
somebody comment on this. Somebody write a comment when you listen to this. Do you think that let's say a 14, 15-year-old girl, 13, 14, 15-year-old girls, 4 or 5 girls should be allowed to stay in a cabin? And it's not like it's an isolated cabin. We're not worried about wolves. We're worried about young men because this is in an area where there's a whole bunch of cabins and it's known to be a party place. Let me know what you guys think of that. I don't see how any parent with and I shouldn't say that. With my good intentions, I could not allow my child to be in this. I couldn't send her out into a situation like that to spend the night. What were they talking about? 3, maybe 4 days alone. Can't do it.
No. And the thing is that what I'm thinking about is, when I was that age, we didn't have internet. We didn't have cell phones. We had regular phones, and
what are you thinking about how people can spread the word?
Exactly.
Yeah.
People didn't even have phones at their cabins back then.
Yeah.
But you know what? We would figure out who was alone at that cabin, and we would be there, and there would be a big party.
And boys are like a pack of hyenas with their noses to the ground. They will sniff it out.
Oh, yeah. But you don't need to be 5 years older.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Even a year, even the same age or a year or two. But the thing is that there will be, we were kids before, so we know that it was not an unusual thing for kids, around 14 or 15 years old to have associations with adults, 18, 19 years old.
Right.
It was so cool.
Yeah, it was.
And we also can remember that those older, those young adults, they were not always kind-hearted, gentle, and with good intentions, good, wholesome intentions when they were hanging around with those kids.
Right. Yep. Yeah, well, that would be interesting to see if you get any comments.
And I wonder if there'll be, I don't want to say everybody's a liar, but I think the people that disagree with us won't comment. The people that agree with us will. I don't think I'll hear anybody. I don't think I'll hear any dissenting opinions.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Interesting topic, though. I think this.
It is
I love to discuss this.
Parenting is that's a touchy thing because that's personal. That's family, and maybe that is why it is so difficult sometimes to have that good contact with other parents. Nobody wants to talk about. They seem kind of standoffish when it comes to, I don't know, we get the weird looks and stuff.
Because we're too strict.
I don't think so.
We're too strict. But I guess, with, my occupation, your occupation, and what we experience, we know what's out there. Maybe more than the average person who is having a different kind of a job, who is working as a director in some kind of a electric company or whatever, Yeah. Yeah. Just wondering, maybe that has something to do about it.
Yeah.
But maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I think our kids are smart.
Sure they are.
Our daughter, she has some very good thoughts about what is safe, what is smart to do and what is not
But
smart
you know what?
to
That's
do.
because we have that conversation with her, and we've been criticized by other parents for having that conversation because they have I'll say it, they got the balls to interpret our concern for our kids, and they'll interpret our discussions with them as if we are being too overwhelming and imposing our will on our children. You know what? Anybody out there listening, yes, we impose our will on our children. We are their number one influence.
Yeah, but
we tell them what we have experienced. We talk with them about what we think is right and wrong. And they're going to be guided by that. But and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, because our kids are allowed to say what they think, and then we will discuss the different type of options.
Oh, yeah. Is that how it works?
Oh, you haven't noticed that?
No.
I
so.
do that.
No.
Yeah, I talk with my children, not to them.
Yeah, we had someone actually told us that.
Yeah.
You should spend more time talking with your children
Instead of to them. Oh my goodness. I almost
the balls of someone to say something like that. How does she know? I think we need to sweep our house for bugs. Is she listening in on us or something? How could she?
No, she's not listening in. If she was listening in on us, she would know that we are talking with.
Yeah, but you get my point. How could she have the gumption to make a statement like that?
Because
she has no clue how we speak to her.
Do you want me to tell you?
Go on. Preach, girl.
Okay. Well, here's the thing.
Amen.
There's a lot of parents there who, instead of being parents, are trying to be their kids' friend.
Yep.
And that does not work.
Well,
if you're a parent, you're a parent. You're not their friend. Big difference.
I am not interested in being friends with my kids. I don't even like them. I love them. I don't like our kids. I don't want to be friends with them.
Well,
I
I wouldn't say that, but I like to hang out with them, but I'm really not all that. I don't think it's that fun to listen to about their TikTok and games and all this stuff.
I don't have anything. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I say it jokingly when I say I don't like them. The point is I am an adult. They're a child. Of course, I'm interested in what they're doing, but I cannot hang out with my children as a friend like some of these parents do.
Yeah.
I say it jokingly, but I'm not their friend. I am their father. Yeah.
And I think
Are you
that
my
is no, I'm your wife. Big difference.
Big difference. We'll get into that.
Yeah. Anyway, so to end this conversation about this topic.
You getting mad?
Yeah. I
got a little angry.
Oh my gosh! If I had that person in front of me, I think I might have lost my job.
We've talked about this before, and we get wound up every time we do. Oh. And to me, it's this thing that because she tried to set foot in our territory, this animalistic protective instinct or whatever.
Yeah, but it was the way it was done.
Exactly. It was totally tasteless, totally without any tact or taste, and quite arrogant and very assuming and just out of line.
And I think, and that's why the friend thing. I think the reason why this person said so is because that person talked with their child. Who tells them
their view of what our child is allowed,
and then they go right into it.
Yeah.
Goes right into that on that level, the 14-year-old level. And
I'm just not gonna have. We're just our kids are too young to be out there running the streets doing as they please.
Yeah.
Some parents of children at the same age don't agree. That's their right.
Well, absolutely.
And I don't wish them any ill will, but I'm going to make sure that our children are protected to the extent that they need to be, and they have a skill set. We're going to give them the information that they need to protect themselves and make smart decisions.
Absolutely, but of course they need.
That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, and they need to, like we tell them, they need to try out different things, and they will fall flat on their face every now and then, and we'll pick them up. But it's not like they're going to get super hurt. We'll do what we can so they don't get hurt, like super hurt. Little scratches on their knees is okay.
I was going to say a little scratch or a knock on the head will do them good. It helps them learn.
Yeah.
Hey, Snoop, go get me some ice cream.
Uh-huh.
You guys hear that bell ringing? I'm sure that's bleeding through the porch porch window that we have open, porch door rather, that we have open, the ice cream truck.
Sometimes they have whale meat, though. I would like to have that.
Yeah, they have whale meat, and don't they also have cod sometimes? Torsk.
Yeah.
Yeah. They come in the wintertime, though. Who wants to buy frozen stuff and ice cream and stuff in the wintertime?
Yeah, well...
Are they that hard up for money?
But people
go.
it.
Yeah, people do go. Yeah.
Yeah. When I grew up, the first ice cream of the year was May 17th, our national holiday.
Wow.
There was no ice cream before that. And the last one was probably in September, around my birthday. Yeah. And then there was no ice cream in the middle of the winter. That was just not even entering my head. Interesting. Yeah. How things are different.
Things are different.
Yep. A lot more sugar.
Easy access to it.
Yeah.
You know,
people have money for stuff like that now. It costs a lot of money buying all this.
I guess we had money for that stuff. You know, when I was a kid, that wasn't the issue. But it wasn't a thing to have it several times a week, like we do now. It was a special thing. You know, you get a bottle of A&W root beer on a Saturday. You know.
Yeah. Well, we weren't like rich. We had a house and a car, but I remember that, we had goodies only Saturdays. And I had to split one little pop with my half-brother.
What kind was it?
It was the no-brand thing.
Oh, boy. The first price?
Yes.
First price cola.
Oh,
first price carbonated drink.
Yeah. We had to split the little bottle. And then that was like one glass each.
How quaint!
And then if we didn't have money for candy, my mother would make what we call eggedoses.
I was going to say, you were talking about goodies, and tell them what that is.
That's
eggedosis. It's called.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure. I think they take the egg whites and with some sugar and whip it up. And
just eat it raw like that.
And then eat it raw like that.
Peasant.
Oh, it was good. It was good. It was sweet.
Well, and when you don't have other things getting in the way of that taste, when you're not used to having a pop, when you're not used to having cake and ice cream, and then all of a sudden you get that egg white with some sugar in it, that's high times right there.
That was good stuff. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. I miss hot dogs with Wonder Bread. My Aunt Rose used to make that for us.
Wonder Bread, what is that?
I think when we were living in the States, I do believe I bought some because you asked me that exact same question. What is Wonder Bread?
Well, I don't remember.
It's just a brand. It's a brand of bread in the States. It's probably all made out of recycled plastic or something.
Oh,
and it's white.
Yeah.
And it's kind of thick and it's white. Pretty tasteless, actually. But when my Aunt Rose would use that instead of hot dog buns, that was good times.
I just remember another thing I learned from the TV about the United States.
Oh, boy.
And that is that the bread in the United States does not mold. Yeah,
they put all those preservatives in there.
Yeah.
And I never thought about that until I hooked up with you.
Yeah.
Let's put the credit where it's due. You got me hip to what real bread is all about. Because I was not a big time bread eater at all, far from it. But if I did eat bread, it would be, just some off brand and usually white bread. And I remember you commented that, isn't there, and one of your 3-hour trips to the grocery store, you came back with some supposedly homemade wheat bread. I can't remember the brand.
Whole way.
And it was definitely a hallelujah moment. I'm like, okay, this is what bread is supposed to taste like.
And that wasn't even the real bread.
And that wasn't even a real thing because when I came here, the first time on vacation, and you gave me some weirdness on a piece of bread here, but the bread was real. They make the bread fresh every day, and it's homemade, and I put that in air quotes, homemade. Real ingredients, not all of these preservatives, and it's a different thing, totally different.
Yeah, and
the real deal. It's real bread.
And if you keep the bread in more than 5 days, you can't use it because it's moldy.
Yeah, because it's natural. There's no preservatives in it. Same thing with the chocolate here. It's just a totally different. It's not even. I used to be able to get down on a Hershey bar back home.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the stuff. And then I got into that. You fed me that.
Melkechoklad.
Remember you gave me, it's a big plate of it. It's like a 12-inch by 3-inch plate of chocolate, for those who don't know. And she gave me one of those the first time I came here to visit her. I think I ate that whole thing in about 20 minutes. And I got so sick. You remember that? Not sick, but yeah, I was.
That's when you were dieting. Actually, you were supposed to be on.
Clean. I was clean with my eating. I was.
You were ready to go in there.
Totally fat depleted. Yeah. I was. So I think if I would have had any kind of, let's call it junk, then my stomach would have reacted. But because that chocolate was so good and I ate so much of it. Mm-hmm. And I was, oh my gosh, I was pretty ineffective the day after.
But you remember when we lived in the States, I didn't eat the chocolate and the ice cream really there. I didn't really like it. It wasn't really that good. One ice cream that was good, and that's it.
And again, it's all what you're used to because, when I came here and I tasted real chocolate, I tasted real bread, real ice cream, and then when the couple of times that we've been back to the States, when I went back the last time, just myself to visit my daughter and 2 grandkids, then I had it was like a little cup of some kind of ice. I don't even remember what it was called. A little tiny little cup thing I bought at a what do you call that store?
Grocery store?
No, but what do you call it? Walmart. Sorry, Walmart. I wanted to say Walgreens, but no, it was a Walmart. And a little cup of some kind of fancy ice cream was the most expensive one there. And I purposely bought that one because I'm like, this must be good. And I really wanted to compare. Not even close. It tasted fake. You can taste the preservatives and the substitutes and all that in it.
That's strange. Why do you guys do that?
I wonder why that is. Why? Who's losing out? Who's losing out? Besides the consumer, who's losing out? I'm talking like business-wise. Are the dairy farmers maybe losing something, missing some income because they're using less milk because it's being replaced by something artificial?
Yeah, but think about...
That can't be good for business. That can't be good for the economy.
No, because when it tastes as good as it does, look at all the ice cream you buy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When they do that in the States, it's replacing, these preservatives and these artificial flavors. And I'm just using milk as an example. If you need milk in chocolate or milk in ice cream, maybe they're using less milk because they're replacing it with these fake things. And then the dairy farmers in the States are losing out. I'm just throwing that out there as an example. Because these preservatives and these flavors are replacing something.
Well, see,
do you see what I'm saying?
Well, the ice cream here, I'm not saying all the ice cream here, but the real good one is made out of cream, like the cream of the milk.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. In the States, they don't do that. They're going to put some kind of preservative and some kind of fake flavor. So the dairy farmers are losing out because they need less milk for that ice cream.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Somebody's losing out.
Yeah.
I should turn this into an investigative podcast.
Investigating the bread and ice cream.
Hey, I'm traumatized
industry.
Because I can't get real ice cream at home anymore. I need to get to the bottom of this. What's happening?
Well, maybe we should stay in the States for a couple of months and.
You want to go back?
And not now.
Why not?
Oh my gosh! First of all, Corona is like all over.
They canceled our flight. No vacation, vacation for us this summer. Our flight is canceled. And I think I had forgot. I can't remember if I told my sister or not, but she sent me a message, something like you're supposed to be here. Something like you're supposed to be here now.
Oh my God.
About 20 minutes before we started this podcast, I got a message. Yeah, you're supposed to be here now. And it didn't hit me until just now that maybe she really didn't know that we were coming. I can't remember if I told her or not.
She knew that we were
she just
coming.
I'm sorry, she didn't know that we were not coming.
Oh.
Because when I read the message and it says you're supposed to be here now, and I was kind of like, haha, she's trying to be funny.
No.
But now it just hit me. Maybe she really thought we were still supposed to be there and didn't know the.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be there.
Sorry, sister.
What is it today? Monday.
Monday. Yesterday,
Yeah.
right? Last night.
Yeah, we would land in New York last night and drive to Ohio today.
Exactly.
We would come to Ohio today.
Yeah.
You better call her. She has to listen, all the plans she made and gather like people, the family and all that. She was going to do that, remember?
Have I been inconsiderate?
Yes.
Have I been introverted? Have I been wrapped up in my own situation the last month or two and not informed her?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to have to think this through. Did I tell?
Oh,
should I call her?
Boy,
I could call her right now. She can be on the podcast.
Sure.
Let me do that. You know what? She's probably working.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I
guess she'll figure it out. Was she not
now really?
Where we were supposed to stay, and there's nobody there or somebody.
Oh, that's right. Because we gave her the address. I gave her the address of that place.
Well, it was the last. It's the same place where you stayed the last time, so she know.
I'm gonna have to humble myself then when I talk to her because I seriously cannot remember if I told her or not. I told Ma. I told Ma.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's hope she remembers.
Old people though.
Nah, she remembers. I'm just joking. Of course she remember. She might not have told your sister.
Well, I'm just gonna have to put that thought aside because I'm starting to feel bad. I don't think I told her, and maybe Ma forgot to tell her because why would she send me that message?
Exactly.
Unless she was just joking, or unless she was just reminiscing, like, "Oh gosh, you were supposed to be here."
No. She thinks you are there. She thinks you're there. I bet you anything.
Wow. Maybe she won't talk to me for. Did I just burp in the mic?
Yeah.
Did you? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Maybe she won't talk to me for another month. I wouldn't blame her if she got mad at me. I do believe I forgot to tell her.
Yeah, because especially since she has kind of gathered family and so on to meet and, yeah.
Why do I get more unprofessional when I do these episodes with you? I've never burped into the microphone like that.
Well.
Why do I get more unprofessional?
Well, because you're used to doing all kinds of nasty stuff around here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting on the toilet right now while we're doing this. I think that, what's that guy's name on CNN? Michael Smerconish. If I'm not mistaken, he does his broadcasting for CNN from his house. And I picture him sitting in his tie and his shirt and his suit jacket, and then the table, and then under the table he's just got like a pair of sweatpants on or something.
Didn't that
No, don't be quiet. Nope. Don't go there. Okay, everybody, I have to censor my wife. She was going to say something that the world does not need to know. No, you can't do that because that can never get out there. Okay, moving right along. Oh boy, you talk too much sometimes. You can't say something like that. I can't believe you almost said that.
How am I supposed to know?
Put that closer. Just rotate it around.
Yeah. It's there, Jen.
Your microphone etiquette needs some work.
Yeah, well, it's right in front of my face. I'm not used to having something right there.
So how did it tell people how it came about that I did a stand-up show this past Saturday and you did not, you took me there, you drove me there, but you didn't come in.
No.
How did that happen?
I felt so sorry for you taking the train in there with a lot of people.
It's
and
boring
the
taking the
corona,
train, but it was a nice
stuff,
drive, and you went to you sat at the park or something.
Park, yeah.
Sat at the park while I did my
looking at
thing.
people watching. It was nice.
It's so different in Oslo.
Very
Did
different.
you see all of those young ladies? I don't want people to think I'm flirting in front of my wife, flirting about other women, but this has to be commented. There were so many young and fit women, and they were dressed. I don't want to
Half
say
naked.
no. I don't want to say
Yeah,
but it was tasteful. It was artsy.
yeah,
it was bohemian. Like
It was.
in a way that you don't see anywhere else. And you just look around, and everybody just looked so fit and healthy and happy. People
Well,
are running around and laughing. This is in the middle of the day, and it just looked like people were having a good time out there.
Well, it wasn't in the middle of the day. It was in the afternoon, evening.
Well, it wasn't dark. It was far from dark.
It doesn't get dark in the summer, John.
You're getting off subject, woman.
No,
The point is the
make
happiness.
Sure that you're correct.
Okay, it was 18:43 and 53 seconds the minute we crossed over the border into Oslo. How's that?
Okay.
Is that precise enough?
Well, and they were not all fit, but they were cool. They you're right.
You're just shooting down everything I said.
They looked happy, and what puzzled me, one of the things that puzzled me, it is expensive in Oslo to live.
That's like living in New York City back home.
And still people can afford going out to eat.
Yeah.
The restaurants were full.
Restaurants anywhere else in Norway.
So
if you go out into the
expensive.
districts in Norway, the restaurants are expensive as can be. So, and I don't have a lot of experience of eating out in Oslo, but it is so much more expensive there.
It is very expensive.
And you see all these young kids, probably students, and it's like, where in the world do they get how much money did they inherit to afford this?
Well, I would assume most of them kids' parents are still alive, so they didn't inherit anything.
Oh my gosh. Are you trying to make an argument on the air? I'm sure they didn't, dummy. They didn't inherit anything. Yes, you did.
That.
I saw it. It went across like one of those ticker signs in Times Square across your forehead. I saw exactly what you were thinking. Oh,
no,
gosh.
just trying to be correct.
I guess correct.
Anyway, I didn't go in.
You sat outside at a cafe. Was it at a cafe or?
No, I thought it was too crowded in those cafes. I didn't want to get any corona. Yeah. So I went into a 7-Eleven, bought a little something and a newspaper, and sat on the bench. Yeah. It was very nice.
And the funny thing is when I came out. Now here's a testimony, everybody, to how do I put this? How brutal I am. I use my wife. I use little Snoopy quite a bit in my stand-up.
And that's why I couldn't go in there.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
No, I don't know that it's not that bad. When my friend says, hey, Ann Elizabeth, you better not go to his stand-ups.
Is that what she said?
Mm-hmm.
Did she tell you why?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
Because it's you talking about me.
Of course I'm talking about you. You're such a huge part of my life.
Oh, I know.
Huh?
I know.
My muse, my inspiration. I can't talk about you on the mic?
Of course you can.
But making you famous, woman. Mm-hmm. No, so the funny part was, I say what I say about you during my routine. So when I walk out and you're there at the corner in the car, and I get in the car
for you.
right at the side of this cafe where people are sitting outside, very European for you Americans. They're just sitting at an outdoor cafe, drinking their coffee or whatever. And as I walk up to the car and open the door, these two ladies say, "Oh, is that her? Is that your wife?" Remember that?
Yeah.
Making you famous.
Well, yeah.
I'm taking you with me on this journey. Mm-hmm. Journey to the top. Mm-hmm. That was a rough set, though. I got to admit to you guys, it was, I had new material. I think I said something about that last Saturday. I had some new material I was going to go through. It's good material. And I started off great. The first half of my set was great. But then I got out of the moment and I started thinking ahead to the bit that I have about my son. As you guys know, he passed away the 5th of November of 2019, heroin overdose. And part of dealing with that is I made this comedy bit about that, if you can imagine that. But it's I turned it into a comedy bit. That's my way of dealing with it. So I got out of the moment and I started thinking ahead to that bit, and then I got emotional and I had to stop. I had to tell the crowd, look, it's hard to be funny right now. It was that, and then thinking about, and I also had a bit about, the movement back home, the protests against systemic racism and all that stuff. So I got out of the moment and I got into my head, but I think I turned it around. I started preaching a little bit, and then turned it into, I actually got them to clap on the 2 and 4, Snoop.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I
got them to clap on the 2 and 4, and I sang a little a cappella thing. I dragged up one of my so far unreleased songs. I dragged that up from the vaults, and I sang it a cappella to the crowd, and it fit the moment, the subject matter of the song, actually. Mm-hmm. It fit the moment. So
well, good
I think I saved it.
Probably did.
I think I saved it.
Yeah. Or you'll know if you get invited back or not, I guess.
Well, yeah, and we talked about that, and hats off to Steinar Daltvedt, the gentleman who booked me for that. It was his arrangement where I performed this past Saturday. Hats off to you, Steinar Daltvedt, and yet again, I don't remember. If you remember, I don't know how much you had to drink at that time when I was apologizing, but I apologize again for not doing what you booked me to do. You booked me to be funny, and I was funny a little bit, but then I got serious at the end, so I apologize for that. That could be career damaging, actually.
Well,
it could.
I don't know. I don't
want to be known as the guy that doesn't do what he was booked to do. Well,
I don't know. I have to think about that one.
I just have to get.
It's.
Hey, I'm putting myself
You're
out
an artist. You're an artist, and who can say what path an artist has to take?
That is beautifully stated, and that's how I feel. I don't think an artist should have any reins put on him or her. No restraints, no chains. Mm-hmm. Let him run free.
Yep.
I don't know. I got a lot of support. Couple new friends after that, so I guess it wasn't all that bad. But I'm a perfectionist, so I was really beating myself up for knocking myself out of that path that I should have taken for that evening. Mm-hmm. And just the fact that I'm talking about it probably tells everybody I'm still upset by that. I guess I got very disappointed in myself that I couldn't, I'm talking in half sentences and half thoughts here. But the thing is I have to deal with Johnny's death somehow. Mm-hmm. I've never dealt with anything like it before, so I don't know how to deal with it. But I do know that when I am able to do that bit without breaking down, I don't think I've ever done that bit, as funny as it is, and the laughs that I get from people, I always get that little quiver in the voice, and I'm struggling to keep it together, but I get through it. Mm-hmm. And every time I get through that bit, I feel like I'm a step closer to some sort of something. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, but that will go in waves. Grief goes in waves, and then that's just the point
is every time I get through that bit successfully, mm-hmm. it's a victory that takes me a step closer to something that has to do with dealing with him. And I guess I'm mostly upset because I didn't get through it
right
on Saturday this last time.
But we call it galgenhumor. I guess maybe you can
gallows humor.
Oh, okay, yeah. That is a good way of dealing with things.
I think so.
But there's you have to in a situation like that, you probably have to deal with it not only by doing that, but it's a way that I do too with my job, with all the strange things we see at our job. You have to kind of have put a little humor into the sad things.
Only with an H.
Huh?
Only with an H.
What are you talking about?
You said humor. Put an H in it.
Yeah? Yeah. Shh. I did say that. I said humor.
Snoop. No, you didn't. You said you said humor.
You did not say humor.
I've been listening to you say humor for 20 years now, woman. You said humor.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
you watch it, Miss Reese, because, I can.
You can't reach across this table. You can't do nothing. Now, when we get off the air, that's another thing. Yeah, what about it? I speak with a beautiful blending of Norwegian dialects. Thank you. Okay? What about it?
I skal ringe deg opp.
I skal ringe deg upp. They make fun of me.
gosh.
Nobody, you non-Norwegian speakers don't get it, but she makes fun of me because I speak a different dialect of Norwegian than she does.
Well, no, not the dialect, but you put together like several dialects.
Well, that's what I
into one
learned.
sentence.
It's what I learned.
Yeah.
How many dialects is that? That's Finnmark.
Skal
Skull.
ringe deg upp. It's
Upp.
2 or 3, something like
Up
that.
is Hallingdal. Yeah,
Yeah, whatever. Anyway,
but I speak it well.
you speak very well Norwegian.
It is
Yeah,
it is a mishmash of dialects though. But I don't know. I can't help it. That's the way I speak. So
Yeah, but people are impressed how fast you learn the language
Yeah.
and how well spoken you are in Norwegian. People are very impressed. And I mean, I get comments.
about me,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
And
I
then,
can't
like,
tell you that often.
I was just going to
because,
say, like a
you-
typical Norwegian, you never tell me that.
No. I
You
don't
guys
want you
do
to
not
get too
spread
big-headed.
compliments around at all.
You know?
I never knew anybody was telling
Oh,
you
yeah.
that I speak well.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Yeah.
I that's good to hear, as long as it doesn't get patronizing,
No.
you know.
Yeah.
You know, for a black foreigner, he sure does speak well. You know, as long as it doesn't get in that area. No, but I love that language. I was very motivated when I came here. You know how, I remember how disappointed I was that school didn't work out.
The introduction.
I was in,
thing,
at that time, every immigrant who came here got for free, I think it was like 400 hours of Norwegian classes, totally free. So I go to class and did I just burp again? I'm sorry.
Oh my
It's this
goodness.
cough. Okay, I'm
Stop
done with the
drinking
coffee.
It's too late anyway.
That's terrible.
Oof.
Well, I'll never get hired for NPR radio. That's the way I keep burping.
NPR?
And National Public Radio.
Oh.
Foreigner. Peasant.
Who's in
You
whose
shoeless.
country? Who is in whose
Oh
country?
yeah, you never know it as hot as it's been. It's been so doggone hot the last few days here.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Oh boy. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I go to the Norwegian class the first day there, and the lady, I cannot remember her name. She's still around in working for the city doing stuff. I've seen her name several times. Can't remember it though. Anyway, and it came out that I was fresh from the United States, and up until very recently, I'd been working as a police officer, and I was a United States Marine. She said United States Marine, and all of a sudden, 5, 6 of those Somali guys that were in that class all remember that?
Goodness,
Remember that?
that's right.
Remember that? Yeah. And I guess you can just follow the logic and based upon the age that they were probably in Somalia, during the Black Hawk Down. So when they found out I was, in the military, U.S. Marine, and the looks they were getting, and it's not like I was scared. I think 5 of them equaled 1 of me size-wise. It wasn't that, but it just made it so uncomfortable. And then we went back the next day, and they all went out. They all went out and played soccer.
And that's what
Instead
they
of
did.
learning, yeah.
And that's what they did.
And so I think we went back a third day, just you and I, but that was just to we got some kind, it was like
It was a computer and a CD thing
with
to put in
the grammar things. Cause I just said, I'm just going to do this on my own. I just need to know the grammar structure. So we went back the third day, sat down at a computer and got all that stuff. I think we burned a CD off of their program.
I think
or did we actually get it?
We got
actually got it,
free book and the CD.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I never went back.
Yeah.
So I'm totally self-taught, and that's why I have that mishmash of dialects, because I just picked up what I was hearing, from your father speaking his dialect, and then even some things from your mother. I learned how to count.
That's right.
I used to recite my counting.
Yeah.
Sexton instead of Saison. Little things like that. Yeah. So that's my language thing. And I want to be honest here. I surprised myself when I was on TV, when I was on Good Morning Norway on that TV thing. I surprised myself that I was able to formulate, with proper grammar and proper wording and everything. I surprised myself because, it's been a trend with me that I'm speaking less and less Norwegian because I've been more and more at home. And here at home, we speak English. And then when the Corona thing hit in March, I really don't speak much Norwegian anymore because we're so
home.
We're fairly isolated. So everything is in English. And then all of a sudden here I am on TV and boy, I was spitting out that Norwegian. I got it to match.
Yep.
Thank you, Sesame Street and Electric Company.
Huh? In Norwegian?
It's a joke, Snoop.
Yeah.
It's a joke. You guys see this? If I would be one depressed stand-up comic if this is the response I always got. I make her laugh, but when I really want her to laugh, she doesn't. It's a blank stare. It's the famous Norwegian blank stare.
Famous?
Oh, it's famous. It's well known. Ask any poor American who's here in Norway.
Really?
The blank stare. Oh. We talk about it online all the time.
Huh. Okay. Well, I was just thinking about what you said when you learned Norwegian. Remember, you helped my dad build that shed outside.
Yes,
Remember
I did.
That,
that was that first summer, and that's when I learned the bulk of my Norwegian through him.
You had to learn all the tools?
Yeah, he would be like, he would say in Norwegian, "Hey, give me that Allen wrench," whatever that is in Norwegian. Of course, I wouldn't know what he was talking about. So he would do this thing. Now her father was, I don't know of a man who was, I can't remember a man, there hasn't been a man who has ever been kinder to me than her father was. But he also had this brutal, tough, he's a
his
kind of,
hands were like
he had hands
baseball
like baseball mitts. Like you could strike a match in the palm of his hand. It was so doggone rough and stuff. So he had this brutal thing. So he would say something to me, and then I didn't really get what he was saying. And he would do this thing, like when someone's trying to get your attention or drive a point home, and they kind of like smack you a little on the shoulder. Well, it felt like he was swinging a baseball bat and hit me in the shoulder to drive home his point. And I'm like, oh my God. And he's a tiny little guy. That's where you get where Snoopy gets her smallness from. He was a tiny little guy, but he was so
strong,
brutal, and strong. And it was such an odd combination at the same time as he was so sweet and kind and loving to me. But he had that brutal side.
Coffee break.
Yeah, we'd be working, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, just imagine somebody, they tap you on the shoulder. Hey, it's time. Let's go. It's coffee break. Well, her father, it wouldn't be a tap. Again, it would be that brutal, that hard
slap,
baseball glove of a hand, leather hand smacking me on the back. Hey, coffee time. So I think, what? That's probably the start. I shouldn't say this in case an insurance company is listening, but that could have been the start of my shoulder problems. Because your father smacking me in the shoulder all the time that summer.
No. But you were so big that maybe he thought that you wouldn't feel anything unless he smacked you real hard.
I guess, because he sure did. Gosh, I miss that guy. Well, here we go. This is every day. Every day, there's at least a thought, or most often something they said about her father every single day since he's passed. When did he pass away?
Too long ago.
2011. 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, I miss that guy. Yeah. He was important to me. He was. I don't think I would have had the beginning that I had in Norway without him. Because I remember, for example, when I got that job running that project here for the city and working at that school, he was almost more proud of me than you were.
Oh, he was so proud. Yep.
Boy, he puffed his chest out and told everybody he could that his son-in-law got this job and is going to run this project. He just
loved you.
Man, I miss that guy.
Yeah.
He was really good to me.
And even after he had all them strokes, remember with our daughter, how he would sit there in his wheelchair and feed her with one arm, and she would, if she was upset, she would pick up the phone and call him.
Yep.
She couldn't hardly speak, but they sure had.
Papa won't let me have any cookies, Grandpa.
Yeah. Yep, I sure miss him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do stand up again this week. Maybe I shouldn't say what day it is because I don't know when we're gonna release this. This episode. I don't know when it's gonna get released.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Well,
the plan was to do that episode with Jon Jarde before Thursday. Before Thursday, put it out on Wednesday. In other words, as you guys know, I put out episodes every Sunday, Wednesday, and then I do the solo Saturday. So Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday. But Mr. Jon Jarde had to cancel on me today. He had some business that all of a sudden fell in his lap. Should have fell on his head. No, just kidding. No, he had all of a sudden something he had to take care of something, so we had to cancel his episode. So you were not my first choice today, Snoop.
I know
it's fading. It's fading.
It's fading. Yeah, but you know what? You're stuck with me, so I'm not too worried.
Ugh. Stuck with you? That sounds like a bad rash or something.
Really? I always said that. For 20 years I've said that.
Well, you never said it on the air before.
Well, you never told me that it felt like that before. Okay. Anything else you need to say?
Oh, boy.
Huh?
You know I have to mess with you, Snoop.
Mm-hmm.
You know I have to mess with you.
Yeah. It's a good thing I'm not jealous and all that stuff.
Nah, you wouldn't have nothing to be jealous of. Where do I go? Where do I ever go to be able to do anything to get in trouble?
Well, do you want me to start?
Go on.
Sure.
Let's put it out there.
Well, who went to the Caribbean without me?
Yeah, but that was different. That's with a bunch of sweaty powerlifters.
What do I know? All them hula girls coming up there and dancing.
Hula girls?
Yeah.
There's no hula girls. Hello, we didn't go to Hawaii. We went to the Caribbean.
Well,
it was the Virgin Islands.
I've never been there, so I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of pretty women there. A lot of them.
You know what was the prominent thing for me about being in on the Virgin Islands? Besides the powerlifting meet itself, it was a North American Championships. Besides that, it was the fact that everybody was black. Mm-hmm.
I don't see that on the Caribbean life.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Maybe didn't we talk about that on the air last time?
I don't know.
Last time you were a guest?
I don't know. Did we? Who knows?
I don't know. But yeah, there's that show, Houses in the Caribbean, or it's something about, it shows people wanting to buy homes in the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And the Caribbean, I don't know any numbers, but I'm going to guess it's at least 95% black. All I know is that everybody when I was in the Virgin Islands, everybody was black. But you see this show.
There's nobody.
And there's no black people there.
That's weird.
I can't help but think that they are doing that on purpose. And I'm not saying everybody out there who may be watching that show is a racist, but I think they are obviously concerned about people who may be racist or may have reservations against black people. And that's why they don't show any black people on that show. But see,
here's the thing.
It's weird.
But here's the thing.
It's like filming in Norway, and I'm not going to let any blonde-haired people be filmed.
But see, I never thought about that until you said something. I love that show. Mm-hmm. And I was looking for a house there. And I did not think about that one bit until you said something. I was like, oh my gosh, I guess you're right.
I picked up on that right away. I'm like, wait a minute, what's missing here? The people are missing. That's what's missing. Yeah. Strange.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's not strange. I think it is a conscious marketing decision that they made because it's just weird.
But then when you saw those two Norwegian guys that show,
Yeah.
they were traveling and
They showed
through
the real
Caribbean.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and they talked about the history.
They were
and
at
the
ground level,
slaves
and they showed.
and all
Yeah.
that was
and
a
they
good
were
show.
there among the people, and they showed what it was really like.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
So that was
A
interesting.
documentary. They went all through. I think they started down in Trinidad and Tobago, and then followed. Did I burp again? Oh, and they followed the.
You don't need to say
and they followed the
it
chain.
every time.
They followed the chain of islands up around and pretty much stopped at every island of
island,
significance in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It was a great documentary, and I don't like Norwegian TV,
But that was
but that one I liked.
And Norwegian TV has picked itself up a lot.
Really?
There's
I don't think
yes,
so.
Yes, it has. But you haven't been. All you watch is CNN. But
It's not true. It's
watch
not
a lot of
true.
CNN.
Of course I do, with all this foolishness going on, and I need material to
But
talk
you
about.
don't really watch NRK.
Because it's boring. It's
No,
been
it's
boring for
not.
20 years.
No, it has picked itself up big
From
time.
what?
From nothing to a lot.
From a centipede sneakers to an ant's butt? Picked itself up from
It's
where
a
to
lot
where?
of channels. Is a lot of documentaries. Documentaries.
Come on, that was funny, wasn't it? Picked itself up from a centipede's
Yeah, no, it
sneakers
wasn't.
to an ant's butt.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Of course not. Do you get it now, though?
Not really, but it's not funny.
You said it's picked itself up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, a centipede sneakers, are they high or are they low?
Sneakers?
Yeah.
Why do you get sneakers for?
See, you
Centipede?
don't get hung up on that. If a centipede wore sneakers, are they high or are they low?
1,000 centipedes.
Listen to me. Are they high up or are they low
That's
to
a
the
lot
ground?
of sneakers.
They're low to the ground, correct?
Okay.
But an ant its butt is higher than a centipede's feet, but it's still pretty doggone low.
No, but it
So the
depends
point-
if the
the
ant
point
can
is-
have its butt down too.
But listen to me. The point is that NRK TV, Norwegian TV, was of very low quality, and if it's picked itself up from very low to low. That's the point. Now you laugh. Okay. I'm gonna be a better comic. You force me to because I have to explain. I have to think through the funny things I say. I've got to think it through. I got to make sure it's logical, but not so logical that it's not funny. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Snoop. Good Lord.
welcome.
I think you're a robot. Charge your batteries.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we need to wrap this up because it's too much foolishness now.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Do you know every time I post an episode on when I post it to my YouTube channel, it comes to a default setting because you can set the category.
A default.
Music, default
okay.
setting, and it always comes to comedy
Okay.
for some reason.
Okay.
But I don't think I've ever had an episode. Well, when I interviewed Bobek.
That's comedy.
Yeah, but it wasn't funny.
No, but it was he is a comedian, so yeah.
So maybe that's why, because that was my first episode, and it automatically when I
Well,
put
why
it up,
did you start talking about this all of a sudden now?
oh yeah, because you said there's too much see, now let me backtrack. You said there's too much foolishness, and I was going to say yes, and that's a good thing because of that generic default setting. It's supposed to be a comedy. It's supposed to be funny. Foolishness.
Okay.
That's what I was getting to.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's such a struggle. Oh.
It's hard being you.
No, it's hard being me when you're in the room. Let's put that in there in parentheses. It's hard being me parentheses when Snoop is in the room.
Well, I have to keep you on your toes so you
Oh,
don't get
is that
tired
what you're
of
doing?
me. Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. I have to challenge you, John Rees.
And isn't that what a relationship is about?
I don't know. I don't know. There's challenges that you. I don't know. Let's talk about something else than that, maybe.
The kids are gone, aren't they? Both of them. No.
Harlan's downstairs.
Did you just tell these maniacs what our son's name is?
Oh, I guess I did. I thought that was no big deal.
Okay, yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
They probably didn't understand it anyway.
Yeah, because of your mushmouth English. Yeah. I hope you never learn how to speak. Well, you're not going to learn how to speak proper English.
Probably
If
not.
you haven't by now. Did they really had to hang a sign around your neck saying you speak
Do you
very
know
little
what?
English?
Let me tell you about my English, my teaching of English or learning of English or whatever.
Okay. Speak
So-
slowly now.
Yeah. So at school, we started learning English. I think it was 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just didn't understand why the heck we needed to learn English. We were living in Norway.
Yeah.
I didn't need English.
Xenophobe at the age of 7.
And I was not going to live anywhere else. This is Norway. We speak Norwegian.
Yeah.
Why do I need to learn English? So what I did, of course, we had those word tests and all that. So I just brought a note.
Oh, you mean like a vocabulary test?
Yeah.
You know, and okay, so you had a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
See, you little
And I was a
criminal.
master of cheating.
Yeah, that's where it came from. Okay. No, it's I remember when we first met, your English was pretty bad then. I don't want to say it was pretty bad. It was hard
it
to understand
was.
you. And sometimes it was hard to make myself understood. But,
But
you,
you don't need words. Who needs words
Oh,
when you
boy.
have love?
Oh,
love,
boy.
love, love, love.
oh, my goodness.
You were so in love.
No, but you have a charming accent. Everybody who hears you talk, well, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people have told me, nobody's ever told me that your English was bad. They all say it's charming.
Well, I got the letter saying my English.
Oh, that was hilarious. Can I tell them about this? That was hilarious. I have these things that I categorize as Snoop moments where she says or does things and it's just jaw-droppingly Snoopish, if I can use that word. Tell them what happened. Or should I just tell
Just
them?
go ahead. Go ahead.
She worked at a funeral home. She worked at a funeral home in the Chicago area when we were living there. And
we had to send out letters to people in order to sell them. You know, prepaid funeral.
yeah, so how did you guys do that? You have somebody standing in the graveyard and when they are standing in the morgue or something and then they see somebody's dead and, oh, you got to sell them a plot. How did that work? How did you know to go to those people to offer to sell them a burial?
Well, we had a
I never
list.
asked you that.
Yeah, actually, we got list. We got a
From
list
where?
from our boss, and I guess it was people that had somebody dying. You know, like there were relatives of somebody who died that had used the funeral home.
Yeah, but how did he know? How did they know that someone died?
They used the funeral home before. Remember, I sell prepaid funerals. Before people die, they pay for
Yeah,
their
but in the case that
package.
we're talking about, this is someone who had died. Someone
Yeah, but
that
I
died
didn't
in
know
their
that.
family.
No, I didn't know he was dead.
So it was just a timing thing.
Yeah, listen. We got these lists of names, right? So what we were told, these are our prospects or whatever they call it, so that contact them and with this offer to prepay for their funeral with the casket and plot and all that stuff. And send out all these letters. You have to mail so many letters every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went down the list. There was a name. I sent it to that person. Well, it turns out that person was dead already.
I see. So the
the
family of the
family.
deceased got the letter that you sent to the deceased
Exactly.
because you didn't know they were dead,
Double offense.
but they had recently, very very recently died. Okay, so that's offensive enough, I guess.
I guess.
But on top of that, and I think you showed me that letter, and it was whoever got that letter, they actually
bet
went
they were
through
teacher.
it and corrected it with a red pen. Every word, every sentence was wrong.
And the grammar.
That's what I'm saying. This every word, every sentence, the grammar, everything
It
was
so red.
I don't think I've ever felt. I don't think I've ever felt sorry for you for anything except for then.
You should.
I felt so. That was terrible. First, you send a letter like a vulture, like some buzzard.
I know.
Circling.
I
You see
know.
they've passed.
That's
Now you
just
got to jump
terrible.
in.
Yeah.
Make some money off of their death.
I know.
And then you send a letter to them, and it's just
And the
full
person is
of-
dead already.
That was bad enough.
Yeah.
And then they get a hold of that letter, and the grammar. I mean, it was bad.
It was bad. Oh, well.
But what gets me, what gets
That I
me,
didn't lose my job.
well, that amazes me that you didn't lose your job after that.
Maybe I charmed the boss.
But what gets me is I can't believe that you would write this letter. I bet that was like a 400-word letter. I can't believe you would write that. I can't imagine how you could write that and not know that it was jacked up with bad spelling and grammar.
No,
Didn't you
I
know?
think no. No, I wrote it on a computer, and it was pretty much the same letter to everybody. You know.
Okay, so there's. Okay, so you just left a trail of destruction and the tears.
Oh my goodness!
Capitalizing off the tears of loved ones.
Oof, oh my. Yeah.
Oof, am I? That's very Norwegian.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but again, my question is didn't you know as you were writing it that it was just wrong?
Well, I wouldn't have written it if I knew it was wrong. I thought I was doing great.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to write something in Norwegian, if I'm struggling over, if I have to conjugate a verb and I'm struggling, I don't because I'm so doggone good with the language. Thank you very much. But if I were struggling to conjugate a verb to get it in the proper tense and all of that, and I was unsure and it was an important letter, I would ask somebody.
But see, here's the thing.
Why didn't you experience that where you kind of hesitated? Like, I don't know if that's right.
No, I was not struggling. It was so easy. I just wrote it down and put it in envelopes and
what do you have,
sent it
like
away.
pictures in your mind and you just write what you see and you think that's what it is?
I write what I have in my head. Just write it down. Easy peasy.
I don't know. That fascinates me, and that is the only time in our relationship that I actually felt sorry for you.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to. I wouldn't have wanted to be you.
You didn't. So you didn't feel sorry for me when I got lost in the ghetto.
No, that was
in
funny.
Chicago.
That was hilarious.
You didn't. You didn't. You
That was it.
thought
I could just
funny?
picture you. La di da di da. Pictures of milking the cows up in Säterdalen and all that stuff while you're driving around the ghettos of Chicago. You had to go to a meeting or something like that, and you got lost
at some cemetery. Yeah.
And the
And I
cops had to
and I
escort you out of the neighborhood.
No, I rolled down the window
Oh my goodness!
of the car and said, "Excuse me," and I pulled out the map for somebody, and this woman said, "Roll back your window, roll it, close it, and just get the heck out of here." And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Flirting with disaster.
And then I saw a police car, and they stopped me.
And they escorted you out.
And then they escorted me out of there.
Wow.
Yep.
What could I do? I just had to shake my head. Well, there she
And
goes
see,
again.
and
There she goes again.
and there you go. See, back to what we started with.
Yeah, full circle. I'm a good podcast host.
With the kids and
Yes.
and all
And
that
experience.
and
And
experience, and usually things go okay. It works itself out.
But again, it was an unnecessary flirtation with disaster. It wasn't
But you know
necessary.
what? Yeah, but you know what? I learned something.
What did you learn?
Get a hold of the police.
Did you learn that black people are as scary as they say they are?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. No, it's never as bad as sometimes as you think it is. Usually things works out somehow.
Yeah, but I just have concern for the way things could be, when it comes to our kids.
And that's what I'm saying. The worst scenario thing and you worst case scenario thing. And we can't do that all the time. The kids have to step outside a little bit themselves.
Of course they do. Yeah.
And usually they will be okay. Like I saw our son. I haven't told you this yet.
Uh-oh.
I was dropped off our daughter just now before we started this podcast, right? So I was driving through the neighborhood. And
you spying on it, trying to find him?
No. I was just driving home.
Okay.
A different road, So anyway, here I see his friend on a bicycle, and I see our son on the belly, on his skateboard, in the middle of the road.
on his belly on his skateboard in the middle of the road. Okay.
Yep. And I was driving behind him, and I was going slow, and he didn't hear me until I honked the horn.
And I bet he jumped out of his skin when he saw you.
Oh yeah. So and of course
What'd you say to him?
Well, I told him that he can't do that. Oh, I'm okay. It's nothing.
Did he have
dangerous.
a helmet?
He had a helmet on. But what does that?
That doesn't
help?
mean anything if a 5-ton truck rolls over you.
I know.
Laying down on it, he is practically invisible.
I know.
If you're in a larger vehicle.
I know.
Wow.
And he thought it was okay. and this, now I saw this.
He's such a boy.
And what is it that we don't see? You know.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I tell him to his face that I know he's up to some foolishness out there.
And his friend was just standing there looking at me and looking at him and just probably wondering why I was yelling at him.
He is friends with some coconut-headed boys. It's hilarious just to watch them when they're doing what they do. It's hilarious.
Gosh, or listen to them.
He's got some cool friends.
I like his friends.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
They are, and they're funny. When they start talking, that's entertainment.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like the Little Rascals. Mm-hmm. Just let them go. Turn on the camera and let them go.
Yeah. So.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. So,
hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's enough. Now I want to watch
CNN.
NRK.
Oh. How was that? Totally unscripted, everybody. All right. Thanks for listening to this episode
Thank you.
of the Coming Home Podcast with John Allen. My guest today, the infamous stubby-legged, stubby-armed Snoop. Bye, everybody.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Yes, I am. Yes, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Yes, I am, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Lord, I'm coming home.